Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in this world. God bless you. This is Gloria White coming to you from Utah, USA. Today we're going to continue in the Complete Apocrypha. We're in the book of Jubilees, chapter 32. And he stayed that night at Bethel, and Levi dreamed that they had ordained and made him the priest of the Most High God, him and his sons forever. And he awoke from his sleep and blessed the Lord. And Jacob rose early in the morning on the 14th of this month, and he gave a tithe of all that came with him, both of men and cattle, both of gold in every vessel and garment. Yea, he gave tithes of all. And in those days Rachel became pregnant with her son Benjamin, and Jacob counted his sons from him upwards, and Levi fell to the portion of the Lord. And his father clothed him in the garments of the priesthood, and filled his hands. And on the 15th of this month he brought to the altar 14 oxen from among the cattle, and 28 rams, and 49 sheep, and 7 lambs, and 21 kids of the goat as a burnt offering on the altar of sacrifice, well pleasing for a sweet savor before God. This was his offering, in consequence of the vow which he had vowed that he would give a tenth, with his fruit offering, and their drink offerings. And when the fire had consumed it, he burnt incense on the fire over the fire. And for a thank offering, 2 oxen and 4 rams, 4 sheep, 4 he-goats, 2 sheep of a year old, and 2 kids of the goats. And thus he did daily for 7 days. And he and all his sons and his men were eating this with joy there for 7 days, and blessing and thanking the Lord, who had delivered him out of all his tribulation, and had given him his vow. And he tithed all the clean animals, and made a burnt sacrifice. But the unclean animals he gave not to Levi his son. And he gave him all the souls of the men. And Levi discharged the priestly office at Bethel before Jacob his father, in preference to his 10 brothers. And he was a priest there. And Jacob gave his vow. Thus he tithed again the tithe to the Lord, and sanctified it, and it became holy unto him. And for this reason it is ordained on the heavenly tablets as a law for the tithing again, the tithe to eat before the Lord from year to year, in the place where it is chosen that his name should dwell. And to this law there is no limit of days forever. This ordinance is written that it may be fulfilled from year to year, in eating the second tithe before the Lord in the place where it has been chosen. And nothing shall remain over from it from this year to the year following. For in each year shall the seed be eaten until the days of the gathering of the seed of the year, and the wine until the days of the wine, and the oil until the days of its season. And all that is left thereof, and becomes old, let it be regarded as polluted, let it be burnt with fire, for it is unclean. And thus let them eat it together in the sanctuary, and let them not suffer it to become old. And all the tithes of the oxen and sheep shall be holy unto the Lord, and shall belong to his priests, which they will eat before him from year to year. For thus it is ordained and engraved regarding the tithe on the heavenly tablets. And on the following night, on the 22nd day of this month, Jacob resolved to build that place, and to surround the court with a wall, and to sanctify it and make it holy forever, for himself and for his children after him. And the Lord appeared to him by night, and blessed him, and said unto him, Your name shall not be called Jacob, but Israel shall they call your name. And he said unto him again, I am the Lord, who created the heaven and the earth, and I shall increase you and multiply you exceedingly. And kings will come out from you, and they will judge everywhere, wherever the foot of the sons of men has trodden. And I shall give to your seed all the earth which is under heaven, and they shall judge all the nations according to their desires. And after that they will get possession of the whole earth and inherit it forever. And he finished speaking with him, and he went up from him. And Jacob looked until he had ascended into heaven. And he saw in a vision of the night, and behold, an angel descended from heaven, with 7 tablets in his hands. And he gave them to Jacob. And he read them, and knew all that was written therein, which would befall him and his sons throughout all the ages. And he showed him all that was written on the tablets, and said unto him, Do not build this place, and do not make it an eternal sanctuary, and do not dwell here, for this is not the place. Go to the house of Abraham your father, and dwell with Isaac your father until the day of the death of your father. For in Egypt you will die in peace, and in this land you will be buried with honor in the sepulchre of your fathers, with Abraham and Isaac. Fear not, for as you have seen and read it, thus will it all be. And do not write down everything as you have seen and read. And Jacob said, Lord, how can I remember all that I have read and seen? And he said unto him, I will bring all things to your remembrance. And he went up from him, and he awoke from his sleep, and he remembered everything which he had read and seen. And he wrote down all the words which he had read and seen. And he celebrated there yet another day, and he sacrificed thereon according to all that he had sacrificed on the former days, and called its name Addition, for this day was added, and the former days he called the feast. And thus it was manifested that it should be, and it is written on the heavenly tablets. For that reason it was revealed to him, that he should celebrate it, and add it to the 7 days of the feast. And its name was called Addition, because that it was recorded among the days of the feast days, according to the number of the days of the year. And in the night on the 23rd of this month, Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and they buried her beneath the city. They buried her beneath the city under the oak of the river, and he called the name of this place the river of Deborah, and the oak of the mourning of Deborah. And Rebekah went and returned to her house to her father Isaac. And Jacob sent by her hand rams and sheep and he-goats, that she should prepare a meal for his father, such as he desired. And he went after his mother until she came to the land of Cabrantan, and he dwelt there. And Rachel bore a son in the night, and called his name Son of My Sorrow, for she suffered in giving him birth. But his father called his name Benjamin. On the 11th of the 8th month, in the first week of the 6th week, in the first of the 6th week of this Jubilee. And Rachel died there, and she was buried in the land of Ephraim, and the same is Bethlehem. And Jacob built a pillar on the grave of Rachel, on the road above her grave. Son of sorrow. It's like the beginning of sorrows. She had a rough delivery, but she brought Benjamin into the world, Joseph's little brother. And as always, I love you.